It is time to kick off those boots or whatever you've been wearing. Things are heating up and it's time to slip into the ultimate comfort. Whether you're heading out on vacation or just need a new pair of comfort slides, today I'm going to be going over the top 10 most comfortable slides you can buy. And just like every single year when I make this list, each pair of slides has been tested for thousands of steps. And I've also tried pretty much every single slide on the market. Yes, I am very serious when it comes to comfortable slides, okay? With that being said, let's get into this. Coming in at number 10, the Nike Mind 001. So, crazy way to start off the video. First off, not really a pair of slides, more like a mule, but these things are so insanely popular. I just know people are going to be asking about them if I don't include them. And I also think it's really important to give you guys as much information and context about this pair of shoes, especially in relation to other slides on the market. So, retail price is a whopping $95, and in terms of sizing, they run a little bit small. I would generally say stay true to size unless you're a half size, in which case round up. And that's because the Nike Mind shoes only come in full sizes. Now, if you want all of the details, I do a full review on this pair of shoes, which I will link down in the description if you want more info. But in summary, these come with huge claims from Nike. They're supposed to be mind altering. They've got 22 individual nodes that press into the bottom of your feet as you walk around, giving your mind extra sensation with each step. Now, for the most part, most of this is just marketing and slightly gimmicky, but they're still very cool, decently comfortable, and for sure something that is so unique. This is really the only slide you can get like it. Probably one of the most important things is just do not pay resale for these. You will find a lot of people heading to places like StockX and GOAT and just paying the double retail price or whatever it is. I mean, there's one pair that's even going for $1,000. Do not do that. There is plenty more on the way in terms of new colorways and restocks. So yeah, just be patient, but overall, they're comfortable, they're fun, and there's something different. Coming in at number 9, one of the more interesting additions to this year's list, the Adidas Adislide sandals. These retail at $60 and fit true to size, and they're essentially a two-piece construction. So you're getting kind of two materials with this, a super soft, squishy foam footbed, but then almost a semi-translucent jelly-like rubber surrounding it. They also come with an adjustable Velcro strap, which is actually really nice, meaning almost anybody can fit these things and be comfortable. I really like the shape of these things. They're slightly rockery, so when you're walking around, it feels great. They do have that sink-in feeling just because of how soft this footbed is. The only caveat with these is that they're slightly more heavy, so people who don't like heavy slides or just really want a lightweight option, this is probably not going to be for you, but overall, extremely comfy. Coming in at number 8, the New Balance Recovery Slide. Retail on these is a reasonable $45, and these also fit true to size. Now, one important thing to keep in mind if you're on the market for this pair is when you see fresh foam listed on the product listing or even printed on the pair of slides themselves, it's not the fresh foam you know from New Balance's sneaker lineup. This is just more of a standard slide feeling EVA, still soft and very comfortable, but just not what you're getting that's usually fresh foam. So yeah, slightly weird branding. I don't know if they're trying to be confusing with this and, you know, kind of sucker some people into thinking you're getting that soft foam that's in the sneakers or not, but either way, it's still a solid pair of slides that feels great underfoot. They've got these small little dimples in the footbed, which actually feels nice. It's not aggressive to the point where you feel them all the time and it's like the Nike Mind slides or something like that. It's just a nice comfy feeling. The strap is really nicely shaped and fits on your foot really nicely. Along with the soft foam, it kind of molds to your feet. Overall, I think for the comfort, you're getting a great deal at just $45. Coming in at number 7, 3D printed slides. Now this category, I guess a little bit more broad than just one specific model. It was included in last year's list. However, since then, 3D printing technology has improved massively. So when I'm talking about 3D printed slides, I am referring to Zellerfeld, the leaders in this space. Not only has the technology for 3D printed shoes evolved massively, but the price has also come down. So they're a little bit more affordable than they were even last year. Price range, you're looking at anywhere between $80 and $150 for slides on their website. For sizing, everything comes with a custom fit. So you can literally scan your feet with your iPhone and that shoe will be printed specifically for your foot. Now, there's a bunch of different options to choose from. Most of them have crazy design stuff that is only possible with 3D printing and not traditional manufacturing. But I guess the main question that most people will have is like, why 3D printed shoes over just a regular pair of foam slides? Well, just like regular foam shoes, 3D printed shoes are also made with just one material. However, that 3D printed material can take on different levels of firmness, unlike, you know, regular EVA slides that are the same, consistent throughout the entire thing. So for example, with a 3D printed shoe, you can have a firm outsole that leads to better durability durability and long-term wear, but also have an insanely soft footbed that your foot just sinks into. It just makes 3D printed slides incredibly comfortable and really, really nice to wear. Highly recommend trying a pair out if you haven't done before. It's a really cool experience. However, just keep in mind they are a little bit more expensive, but if you got the extra cash, I think it's worth it. Coming in at number 6, we got the Adidas Adilette 24. So these are definitely something different, probably the most different on the entire list. These retail for $60 and fit true to size as well. Now, these are not made entirely out of foam like most of the pairs that you'll find on today's list. I mean, there is foam, I would say, in the midsole. There's definitely foam there. It is squishy and soft, just like a regular pair of slides. The entire strap is made from fabric and a soft stuffing on the inside. These are extremely chunky and kind of puffy, which I personally really like. I like the look of it. Definitely makes them a little bit more unique in terms of styling potential. But the comfort factor is really the main selling point for these things. They feel really nice in a way that a regular foam pair of slides isn't. For anybody who likes to wear their slides without socks, these are probably going to be the most comfortable out of all of them. They're also really nice and soft in a way that kind of bends with your feet as well, which obviously helps with the fabric and the stuffing inside. Coming in at number 5, the Hoka Aura 3. These fit true to size, cost $60, and there's nothing revolutionary about the type of foam that Hoka is using here or anything like that. It's just that they've really nailed down the fundamentals. The way that these things are shaped, which has a slight rocker, walking around feels amazing. The foam is still really nice and soft, so it feels like you've got that cushioned experience walking around. The strap is really nicely designed, fits on your feet perfectly. And in my opinion, I think they just look really good as well. Taking the number 4 spot, the Adidas Purechill slides. These retail for $55 and fit true to size, and they're based off of the Purechill mules or clogs that Adidas released just a few months ago. Which I will say, if you're looking for a pair of clogs over slides, I highly recommend those. They feel incredible, just super, super comfortable. Now, the slide version is a little bit different in multiple different areas. In fact, I think the foam is a little bit different as well. But the Purechill slides have probably one of the most supportive footbeds I've ever felt. You instantly feel an insane amount of arch support as soon as you slip your foot in. They're also pretty wide, so stability is a major factor here. You feel very well planted and not like you're gonna roll your ankle or something like with some other slides. The foam is really nice and soft and gives you that cushion effect as you're walking around. Again, not quite as soft as the clogs, which I think is a little bit odd. And again, we're kind of splitting hairs here, but I mean, you kind of notice these things when you do thousands of steps in all of these different shoes. I think they look really cool, and I do really think that these are going to be some of the most popular slides this year. Which, speaking of popular, we got to get to that top 3. But real quick before that, let's talk about some of these honorable mentions that I thought I just got to include in this video. First up, the Puma Mostro slides. Retail is $70. They fit true to size, and I think the main thing you're going to buy with these things is the crazy design. They're obviously based off of the Mostro sneakers, but I think they did a great job with the slides in terms of comfort. Insanely comfortable. Another one from Puma, the Nitro slides, which came in very high on last year's list with this specific one, and I wanted to include them. If they would definitely be in the top 5. It's just they're really hard to find. I think Puma might have discontinued them. They're incredibly comfortable. As you know, Puma's flagship Nitro foam is kind of placed into these things, which is crazy for a pair of slides. Probably why they retail for $85, but the experience you get walking around is amazing. So yeah, if there's any way you manage to find a pair of these things, highly recommend. Last honorable mention, the Crocs Mellow slide. I love these things. They feel really nice on foot. One caveat with them is that you should definitely size down. They fit massive. I'm talking like full size down minimum. Retail is also really reasonable, just $40. Either way, let's get into this top 3, and we're going to kick this off with the Nike Rejuve8 slides. These are going to be some of the most popular slides on the market. They absolutely exploded when they first released, I believe last year. Retail is $60. They fit true to size, and now they come in so many different colorways and different options. You've got endless amount of things to pick from. My favorite things about the Rejuve8 slides is, one, the foam. Reactx feels incredible underfoot, and it does well in all of their sneaker models as well, so it makes sense with a pair of slides. You would get the same effect. But 2, the shape is really, really nice. Again, has that slight rocker geometry, so when you're walking around, it just feels really easy and comfortable, and that's a great experience. Another big pro actually is the outsole. So not many slides actually come with an outsole, but this is definitely going to add a lot of durability to these things as well, and they'll probably last a lot longer than just your 100% foam slides. The design is really nice. I think they look great. So overall, definitely one of the best slides that you can get in terms of comfort. But in a complete turn of events, coming in at number 2, the Nike Calm Slide 2.0. On one hand, I'm pissed at Nike for selling the regular Calm slides before these for so many years. But on the other hand, Nike kind of did a great job updating updating these. They retail for $55 and fit true to size. And if you didn't know, the Calm Slide was something that Nike released back in, I think, 2023 or something to compete with the Yeezy Slide. And it's probably going to go down as one of Nike's biggest failures. They felt like absolute bricks. It was hard foam that almost felt like plastic. They were heavy. The footbed was like having all of these lines. They just felt incredibly uncomfortable for a pair of slides. So they updated everything. This 2.0 version, yes, has the exact same look, but you've now got a much softer foam and an improved fit. There honestly seems to be no real reason why they couldn't have just done this with the original one. It's not like the foam didn't exist a couple years ago. Either way, the foam is amazing. They're incredibly soft and it works really, really well with this shape. And I guess now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of people are going to be deciding between the Rejuvenates or these things, and in my opinion, I did find the Calm 2.0 more comfortable than the Rejuvenates. Both are great, both are comfortable. I just think the Calms now with this update edges it slightly. Another great thing on these is that the strap is really nice and long, so it covers your foot a lot, which makes them stick to your feet a lot better, which just makes walking around feel a lot more stable, less sloppy than some other slides. Now with this much softer foam, it kind of molds to your foot as well, so as you're stepping, it doesn't kind of stop your foot from natural movement. So yeah, overall, great pair of slides. Highly, highly recommend. Nike, well done, except for the fact that you probably should have just released these years ago. But coming in at number 1, the YS-01. Yes, Yeezy Slides another year in a row. Now, it's not exactly the Yeezy Slide that you're probably familiar with, the Adidas collaboration. This is the new independent Yeezy.com slides by Kanye West, and they retail for $40. It's actually the only design that Kanye West owned after splitting with Adidas back in 2022, and he is taking full advantage of that now. There is a ton of different colorways available on Yeezy.com, and honestly, the SL-01 is identical to the Adidas Yeezy Slide in every single way, except for the fact that they come in a bag, not a box, and there is no Adidas branding now. But everything else, from the insanely soft foam that feels incredibly comfortable to the amazing fit that just molds to your foot, and in fact gets more comfortable the more you wear them. They're lightweight, they stick to your feet really nicely, so walking around in them just feels like a damn dream. And trust me, every single year, I hope that some brand makes a better slide than these things, but it just never happens. These are ultimately just the most comfortable slide you can buy, again, for ever since they released back in 2019. Now, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There is a caveat with this pair of shoes, and that is the fact that anything you order off of Yeezy.com takes a long time to get to you. Now, I will say it has been getting slightly better. Most people are reporting that they only have to wait a couple of weeks when they order the Yeezy Slides, and it used to be like absolute months. I'm pretty sure I waited like 3 or 4 months for my Yeezy Slides to get in. But hey, if you don't mind waiting, then I mean, $40 for a pair of Yeezy Slides, you can't really beat it, especially when you consider that if you wanted that same experience, the Adidas Yeezy collaboration, those ones are going for $200 plus, and these are just truly identical. But hey, if you like comfortable slides, you probably also like comfortable sneakers. So what I'll do is throw that video up in the top left-hand corner, click on it to check it out.